Welcome back to my channel. Today we are documenting day 6 of December Daily. And every December my husband and I go to the movies. We do a movie night. And with, the year being what it is, there are a few opportunities to go outside and do that type of stuff. So we decided we were going to do our movie night at home this year. Which honestly was a lot of fun. Like, we ordered takeout and I lit a candle and we had so many ciders. I'm not like, Crystal or anything when it comes to the craft brewery, but I like a cider or two. And so we had so many ciders and it was a really great night. So we watched Mulan, which is now available for streaming on Disney Plus. So that's what we did. We ordered takeout, we watched Mulan, we had date night at home, and it was a lot of fun. So that's what I'm going to be documenting today. Now, my album is slowly approaching critical mass. It's day 6. So I need to have some flatter pages. So we're going to keep today relatively, obviously, we're going to keep today kind of flat because there's a lot going on in this album so far. So what I was really inspired by, if you got the main kit from Ali Edwards this year, there were these craft tag pockets that kind of had like white embossing on them, and I was really inspired by that. But the pocket wasn't big enough for the photos that I wanted to keep in mind, so I decided to just make my own. And I have this paper person. It's just going to take me a while to catch up to calling it paper person and not Kelly Perky. But I have this paper person Highline Holidays stamp set. And so I am just going to use a bunch of these stamps to make, to emboss and make my own pocket. So I'm literally just arranging a bunch of these stamps in a brick pattern because these are all the exact same height. This is a really easy thing to do. So I just literally arranged all of them in a brick pattern, and then we're going to emboss it in white. And I'll quickly show you my photos. So I'm going to do the thing that I do every December. It's a really easy trick. It's just embed your journaling in the photo. So I'm going to cut a slit in my photo, put my journaling in my photo. So here's a picture of like our food. We had like chicken and mac and cheese and eggplant and salad and stuff, and it was really good. And then we're trying out these new ciders. So they had a blood orange and a cranberry flavor. I actually prefer the cranberry to the blood orange, but we tried out some new ciders. And then here's the Mulan poster. So these are actually going to go in this pocket that I'm making, and then this will be a full page photo, and then this will be, again, relatively flat compared to everything else I have been making this month because my album cannot handle 8 layers of foam tape every single day and get 25 stories in it. My husband was joking that this is going to be the year of the 3 albums. And I told him to keep that negative energy to himself because I cannot have 3 albums. So for the next few days, we're going to have to take it nice and easy, which is okay because you know what? Honestly, I'm telling a lot of small stories this year because there's not, much to do anyway. So a few smaller spreads will not hurt me. All right, so I'm working on Nina Desert Storm cardstock. I am a huge Nina fan. Ooh, the bright moved. Okay, well, it's staying there. I didn't realize the bright moved when I closed the door. It was all in straight lines, and then I closed the door and the bright moved. That embossed really well the first time, actually. So I'm working on Nina, which is my favorite cardstock brand. And then this is the Desert Storm color. It's their craft cardstock. And then I'm going to emboss in white. I'm a little bummed that bright moved because they were all in perfect position before I closed the door. I'm not sure how that happened. All right, so pretty much 2 stampings got me good embossing coverage. So actually, I'm going to stamp that top row one more time because the cheer and the H. That chair is looking a little naked. And this is something I picked up from watching Jennifer McGuire, which is just getting a dry erase board for your Misty, because I have really bad wrists. I've had surgery on my wrist a few times, and I want to be able to craft in the long term. So like repetitive motions and stuff like that tend to hurt me. So doing it this way takes a lot of that out. All right, so we're going to cover this with some white embossing powder. This is Ranger white powder. I'm probably going to use like this whole jar of embossing powder just on this particular page. All right. And And I'm going to get this off my Misty because if I drop embossing powder on it, it's going to make me really sad. Okay. So we're going to just, I think I'm going to do this one row at a time because that'll just save me from having to put the whole jar of embossing powder on this. And I'm going to heat set this and I'll come back because I forgot to turn on my heat tool. So I just need a minute to turn on my heat tool, let it heat up. And you guys might have noticed that I didn't prep this with my anti-static powder tool. I forgot. That's not like something that I wanted to do. I literally just forgot to do it. But the Nina cardstock's great. It like, I feel like there's no static on it and I might have just gotten lucky, but whatever, we're going to count our blessings because that was a pretty clean embossing job. So we're going to not complain, count our blessings, and then I'm going to heat set this and I will be right back. I gotta say, watching embossing powder melt is probably the most satisfying thing in the world. So the other thing I did was because Versamark is a watermark ink, I just stamped the back of my pocket with the same sentiments. Yeah, so I stamped the back of my pocket with the same sentiments. So now we are going to make our pocket. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at an angle. So I just got to figure out where I want it to, like how sharp of a, how drastic of an angle I want. And I like that. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take my scoreboard and I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch on all sides because we have to make this a pocket. So I'm gonna have to score it this way. I probably should have cut it, scored it, then cut it, but whatever. I'm making this up as I go. So I'm gonna score this at 1/2 inch on all sides. I'm gonna have to do this like, I'm gonna have to do that side like that because I cut that angle, so I can't do it that way. All right, so I scored it at 1/2 inch on all sides. That is pretty much the only thing I need my scoreboard for. And then we're gonna pop this on. Oh, that's not my paper scissors. Oh my God, that would have made me cry. Those are my weaving scissors. And I have learned that cutting paper with your fabric scissors will ruin them. And that would have made me cry. Like I literally probably would have cried real tears. All right, so that's what that pocket's gonna look like. I really like how that comes out. I think that's super cute. All right, so we're going to just use some tape to stick this down on all sides. Where's my tape runner? There we go. Now, ideally, you would use score tape for something like this, but this is going to go back to back with something else in my album. So if this was like a freestanding element and you weren't going to put it back to back with something, I would say use score tape, but I'm going to put a photo for whatever day 7 is on the back side of this. So I'm not very worried about this coming undone in the long run, if that makes sense, because like I said, something's going to go on the back side of this. So that's going to pretty much keep it down. All right. So there is my pocket. I think that's super cute. And then my photos are just going to live in here, which I might cut them into tags. So I think I like tag shapes. And then let us see if my hole punch will obey me. It will not. So I'm going to have to punch these holes manually. All right. So just so you don't have to watch me do that, I'm going to punch holes in those manually and I'm going to cut these into tags. So let's just quickly do that. Now I'm going to eyeball this. I'm probably going to regret it. But I'm just eyeballing cutting these into tags. Those don't look terrible. And then I'm going to use my power punch. If I could open it. I'm going to use my power punch to just punch a hole through the top. And we're going to put some ribbon, which I brought with me. I actually have like embellishments this time around. Because normally I start these videos and I have no idea what I'm doing as far as like pretty things. But I actually have embellishments this time around. So that is progress. So we're just going to feed a ribbon through the top of each of these tags. I don't know. I like using ribbon. I never use ribbon. Like I don't use trim any other time of the year, but December, that just ripped. Okay. That was not the plan. All right. I probably should have been a little less overzealous with that, but it's okay. I'm going to staple it on. And then this tag will just go in the back. I'm going to have to print this photo again. I could just feel it. Like I can feel it. I'm going to print that photo again. All right. So I'll print that photo again. I'm just going to put it in the pocket for now. I don't like this ribbon. I want it to work. It's not cooperating. I'll use a different ribbon. I'll just have to go back into my trim stash. And now I have to print this one again because I mangled it. But pretty much that's what that side looks like. And I think that pocket is super cute. I love the way the white embossing looks on the craft. And the reason I did the white on the craft is because this is the number I want to use. It's a cork number. So I figured the cork with the craft would look really good. Now, I'm going to have to cut my photo. So the way I do this, and again, you guys are not going to watch me cut my photo because I'm not brave. So the way I do this is I put my journaling. I do this wrong every single year. I never leave myself enough space. Every year, I do this particular type of page every year, and every year I complain that I don't leave myself enough space. But I just, put my journaling on the back side of my photo, and then I trace it. So I'm using my T-square first to make sure that it's straight, because the last thing I want is to just cut crooked lines into my picture. So I'm using my T-square to make sure that it's straight, and then I'm just drawing lines on the sides of my picture so I know how big the cut needs to be. And then I just connect those lines. Now this is going, again, back to back with something, and I think what I might have to do, since I didn't leave myself enough space, I do this every single year. Every year when I do this particular type of project, I always say, Tashi, leave yourself more space next time, because you have to adhere this to the back side of the page, and then every single year I do it wrong. So I think what I might do, since I didn't leave myself enough space and I'm not going to print it again, is I might just use some copy paper. Like I might adhere to this particular piece to some copy paper and then adhere to that. We'll see. But I'm just going to go cut that up where you guys can't see me, because this is nerve-wracking enough cutting a picture, and then I will be right back. So here's where we are. So I have cut my slits into my photo. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I had a scrap of vellum sitting on the floor. So it's going to work out just right for what I need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just adhere the vellum to half of the page. So I want to make sure that things sit properly. All right, so I'm going to adhere the vellum to half the page. And then making sure my journaling is right side up, because I've done this before. You guys, I cannot even explain to you how many times I've done silly things like this. I'm going to stick my journaling to this vellum. Okay, this would be easier if I just lifted it up. All right, I should have just done the bottom. I just need to make sure that the journaling is in the right position. So a lot of the scrapbooking that I do, especially the interactive bits, are just trial and error. Like you're just literally figuring out if the mechanisms you want to use will work. This would have been easier if I had left enough of an edge on my journaling, because I could have just stuck the edges of the journaling to the photo, but I didn't. So in the effort of saving paper, I'm just doing it this way. All right, so it still works, only it needs to move up. Okay, it needs to move up a little bit. So the good thing about this Scotch tape is it's not like permanent immediately, so I can lift this back up. And also my journaling is somehow has escaped through my photo. So we're just gonna put it on the back side of the photo where it belongs. Go back over there. There we go. And now it fits. Okay, so in the album, I'm just gonna crease this. Oh Lord, look at my purple lines. I did not think that through when I drew those lines. Oh wells. I'm just gonna use my bone folder to score this. I did not think that through when I put those purple lines in there. Probably should have realized that you would have seen it on the other side, but I guess that would bother me if I cared enough. I don't know if I care enough today. Okay, so that's how it works. So when you open it, there's the journaling, and then it stays closed the rest of the time. So to embellish, I brought over a bunch of different stars. I just wanted to I was really inspired by this chipboard piece from last year. It's a pink piece that says, "Embrace the wonderful mess." So I brought over a bunch of stars. I have my glitter chipboard stars, which I still need more of. I need someone to just make glitter chipboard stars, because these are my favorite. So I have glitter chipboard stars, and I was thinking about just putting like the star and the number 6 and just having that be my embellishment and just having it be really simple. I had also brought over some of these like metal charms as I thought about tying a metal charm to my number 6. So when I was pulling embellishments for this video, I was literally like, do I want to do some metal charms? Do I just want to keep it easy with a star? Do I want to punch this and put the metal charm in this? Because there's this metal charm that says peace, which I thought could be fun. I could just put this snowflake. I can't speak today. I could put a snowflake through it, but I feel like if I put a snowflake through it, then I'm going to lose the words. So I might just, this is where like the over embellishing gets me, because I like embellishments a lot. I just don't always know when enough is enough. So I also have those transparent stars, which that white on white is invisible. So let's not do that. But I could do this red one. The tiny little red one. I think these came in the star kit this year. Oh, I like those two together. I think that's really cute. Where's the little white one? Because if I don't put it back in this package, I'm never going to see it again. And then there's this green one that says let it shine. And I think that's cute. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do a transparent star and a chipboard star on each of them. Now, there's 3 things here, but there's only 2 here, and I can't handle even numbers. That's going to bother me so much. So I'm just going to grab another chipboard star and figure out like a visual triangle with these, which I think that looks good. Like, I think that looks good. All right, so I'm going to adhere these down and stop second guessing it. Because otherwise I'll be fussing with little stars all day. I'm just going to use my Scotch tape runner for sticking this down. I have used the tape with cork, and I don't have any issues with tape runner and cork. But if you're worried, you can just use some sort of wet adhesive. But I've used tape runner with cork multiple times, and I don't have any issue. Now, I'm purposefully putting the embellishments on top of the flap where they lift up. That way, when I lift up the flap, I don't have to worry about like any sort of interactions with the pieces that I'm putting underneath. Like, I don't want to lift up the flap and then have the 6 half, unless that's intentional. Like, you could lift off the flap and have the 6 be half on the flap, half off the flap. But I just want that to be an intentional choice and not something that I just forgot to fix. So that's why I'm doing it. Oh, I always forget that these stamps have, I mean, these acrylic acetate pieces. I just can't, words are beyond me today. I always forget that these acetate pieces have a little backer. Okay, so that's day 6, which I think is, I really like how this worked out. I will say I had a little bit of twists and turns to get here, just because I ripped my photo, and then I had purple lines everywhere. And sometimes that happens, especially with like a daily project. And for me, and this might not be everybody's policy, but for me, when it comes to December daily, like those purple lines at the back might bother somebody. That's not something that's necessarily going to bother me in the long run. So I'm just going to pretend that they're not there, because that's not something that I'm going to see, you know, going forward. So if that's something that would freak you out, then by all means print it again. But photo paper, one, is really expensive, especially the photo paper I use. And so I'm not going to bother reprinting it for something that's on the back side. All right, so I'll read you my journaling, and then I'm going to skedaddle. So it says, Dear Date Night at Home, I could spend most of this evening lamenting over how different things are and how much I miss our tradition of going to the movies, buying the nachos and the giant drinks, waiting for just the opportune moment for the inevitable bathroom trip, and then hissing to Joshua to fill me in on what I missed. Or I could appreciate you for what you are, a chance to stop and just be with my partner. There's 2 widths in here. Every day, without fail, I will mess up my journaling with my partner, to curl up next to him and watch the movie, complete with the pause button for those obnoxious mid-reel bathroom trips. Yes, things are different, but so much of it is also the same. He is still a wonderful movie companion, and you are still a wonderful opportunity to put everything to bed for a few hours and bask in his company, to laugh at his terrible jokes, to steal bits of his eggplant, to try and make room for dessert and fail, and to make magic in the 4 walls we live in. Thank you for helping me keep this tradition alive, even if it is a new and classic 2020 form. And thank you for helping me make a new one. So a smaller story today, but still an important story. I love documenting date night in my December daily, and it looks different this year. And that's, you know, that's okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video, even with all the hiccups. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 7. So until next time, keep it crafty and have the very best day. And I'll see you around. Bye for now.